Hi, folks. Tim Conti here with Cloud Trusted Advisor. I hope you're having a great day. So, the holidays came early. The new 2023 Gartner Magic Quadrant for Unified Communications as a Service has been released. I get super excited around this time of year, mostly because I've worked in this industry for 15 years directly in unified communications as a service. Many of the vendors on the Gartner Magic Quadrant, I've either implemented their solution for clients, both large and small, or I've actually worked directly for the providers such as Avaya, 8x8, to name a few. So what I'm going to do here is share my screen and start to go through the preview of what we're seeing and where the potential, in my mind, surprises are. And the first one comes, I almost look at this, if you're a college football fan like I am, recently Florida State was left out of the national championship consideration in the Final Four. And, when you look at folks being included or not included in anything, you always look at what was the criteria, what was the evaluation. And when you have an evaluation such as the Gartner Magic Quadrant, it's very specific. There's no ambiguity on how they rank the providers and the inclusion and the evaluation they use. And with that said, and I'm not going to make any friends here, but I still can't believe 8x8 is in the leaders quadrant. Nothing against the product or solution. I worked there for a number of years. There's really good people that have good intentions that work there. But first and foremost, just the revenue alone, they're publicly traded. It's not hard to look at. The stock is below $3 a share. They've had a pretty rocky road, and they're not anywhere in the vicinity of the revenue of Microsoft, RingCentral, Zoom, and Cisco. And maybe you say, Tim, so what? We don't care about the revenue. Well, you should, because these guys aren't all going to survive. There's already rumors today of a acquisition or a merger between Five9 and Zoom. If you remember, I think about a year ago or 8 to 10 months ago, they tried to merge and it didn't work out. My point being is that 8x8 is going to either get acquired or something's going to happen. They are not going to be able to stay as a standalone entity. But enough picking on 8x8, my friends over there, don't shoot me. I just don't see 8x8 over, say, a dial pad. And I've implemented both solutions for clients. Also, surprisingly, Vonage has done very well in the enterprise. And I just feel as though 8x8 should be in the quadrant. I just don't see them as a leader. So when you look at the other four here, Microsoft, RingCentral, Zoom, and Cisco, very formidable competitors. I'll next kind of take and highlight Cisco. The challenge for Cisco as relates to this Magic Quadrant is, let's say that we're running an evaluation for a customer, which is what we do. We help them evaluate these vendors with a 10-step process that's been proven over countless number of implementations. It's a process we perfected when I was at CDW Corporation, a $20 billion VAR. I worked in the UCaaS division where we actually help clients like you migrate to a new solution. And when you look at Cisco, it's difficult to buy this product on its own. If we're putting Cisco into like an RFI or an RFP for a client, or we're evaluating them, we're not really calling Cisco direct like we would RingCentral or Zoom. So the challenge is, how do you procure Cisco? And mostly it's delivered by the VAR, value-added reseller community, is who's selling most of the Cisco out there. There's also really good companies such as CBTS, which is formerly Cincinnati Bell, that has both a Microsoft and Cisco solution that they put in their data centers and they manage it. That makes perfect sense to me. But those folks didn't make the quadrant. They're not on here, and more on that in a little bit. So that's the challenge with Cisco. The solution there is predominantly WebEx. And I just don't see a lot of WebEx out there. I am seeing Teams and I am seeing Zoom. Those are the two that I'm seeing out there as it relates to collaboration. But there are a lot of huge, large Cisco implementations in there. What's nice about their solution is they can do the telephony, the phones can be bundled in from Cisco. They support the analog devices like ATAs. So definitely in your larger enterprise, Cisco's a player. That kind of leaves our couple of others here in the leaders quad. I'm going to focus on the leaders today, just in the interest of time. But from a leader's perspective, let's next look at RingCentral. Okay, RingCentral's in an interesting area. They are still fighting for market, I won't say relevance because they have market relevance. They're still fighting for exposure in the market as it relates to Microsoft Teams and Zoom. Those, in my mind, are the de facto leaders, Zoom and Teams. So RingCentral, though, continues every quarter to not disappoint in terms of growth, revenue, and whatnot. The product is super stable. Partnership with Avaya didn't work out so well. I was there during all of it, but more on that at another date. But RingCentral's still a player in here. They should be in every single evaluation, every single mix. It's still a very strong product. I worry a little bit about pricing and packaging for them as it relates to comparing versus Zoom and Microsoft. Next, Zoom. My personal opinion is Zoom offers you the most bang for your buck in terms of pricing, support, and ease of use. We're obviously on a Zoom meeting right now. This phone solution is as simple as when you subscribe to their phone, they put a phone icon in your Zoom app. It integrates very nicely. It's extremely cost effective. And Zoom, I believe, has over $5 million or $5 million, has over 5 million PBX licenses in a very short amount of time, which makes them bigger than a lot of folks on here combined. So then the elephant in the room, Microsoft Teams. Teams continues to make strides. When I was at CDW years ago, Teams just Microsoft Teams is fine, but as a voice solution, we advise clients against it. The support wasn't there. Who do you call for support? How do you get support? You can't call into Microsoft. You really need an integrator or a Teams expert to help you. Now, since then, things have changed a bit. It has gotten much easier to do it. Their packaging's easier. Their SLA is definitely much lower than 8x8 and Zoom and RingCentral, but they still do offer an SLA. But it is still pretty difficult to manage a Teams environment unless you have a dedicated IT staff. If you do, and you're willing to dedicate someone like you were in the old days to dedicate towards your PBX phone system, if you have someone dedicated to the Teams environment, that is definitely a viable option. The other misnomer with Teams, and where I'll caution you, is they make it seem as though it's either free or included with some of the enterprise license packages. It's not. I have a whole separate video on that, so I'm not going to get into it. It would take too long just deciphering their whole calling plan and pricing. But on a couple of head-by-head analyses, one we did for a Berkshire Hathaway company, the Teams voice solution was 30% more than Zoom, and the client ultimately chose Zoom and actually integrated it with Teams, which creates an interesting offering. So that's my personal view on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. There wasn't really much change here from the last Magic Quadrant. Some kind of folks moved around a little bit. But again, there are options for you and choices in the marketplace. I'm going to show you something really quick, which is going to help you in your analysis, should you need it and require it. Move my phone here. This is our proprietary tool we have access to called Pathfinder. And what Pathfinder does is, oh, your screen sharing is paused. I'm going to stop share and I'm going to reshare desktop. Just want to make sure that this goes through. There we go. Okay. So sorry about that. So hopefully this is worth the wait. As you can see here, this is a snapshot of all of the vendors in the unified communications market. There are many on here that aren't included in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and we cite that as a differentiation. Nothing about the Gartner Magic Quadrant, but it is somewhat biased. If you are not subscribing as a vendor to their research report, there's a likelihood that you're not going to be on the report. That's just my personal opinion. I just see some similarities there. It's also hard, for a lot of these vendors to check all the boxes that Gartner puts out there in terms of evaluation. So when a lot of enterprise customers, IT leaders are looking at a new unified communication solution, they might be just looking at the Gartner Magic Quadrant, I think that's a great starting point. But then from there, you need a level of customization in terms of plugging in your requirements, because the Gartner Magic Quadrant is a fixed report. It doesn't change. The minute it goes to print, it's outdated. Our tool is updated daily. So as providers move in and out and their requirement or their capabilities in terms of what they can offer change, we are constantly out in front of that for our customers. So what we have here is a quick tool that allows us to down select the industry down to a manageable few when you're considering a new unified communication solution. So maybe you read the Gartner Magic Quadrant and you're like, wow, where do I start from here? Where do I go? Well, you can come to us and we're going to provide you with an easy way to cut your research time in half. I guarantee it. We've done this countless times for customers. They see a tremendous amount of value in this offering that we have. And let me show you what I'm talking about. First and foremost, because this is a solution, cloud solution, it's delivered over the internet. So the proximity of the customer or to the provider's data centers to your location is important. So for all intents and purposes here, I'm going to choose United States and I'm going to choose UK for now. I'll choose Canada. Why not? Compatible handsets. If you have an investment in a handset that you want to reuse, we can consider that here and we'll check poly. So line of business integration. If you're not connecting your CRM to your solution, you're missing out. You absolutely want to integrate your customer data into the phone system to make it that much more powerful. And then from a compliant, and we'll show Salesforce there, but you saw the other ones as well. HubSpot's pretty popular, ServiceNow. And then in terms of compliance, let's say that you're a company that requires a level of compliance, such as, say, I don't know, PCI. Choose that here. And I'm going to leave the rest of these blank, and I'm going to generate this matrix. And what we've done here is, in a quick and easy way, shortlist the vendors based on your specific requirements. So obviously 8x8 checks the boxes here. So does AT&T and Avaya, RingCentral. From here, this is your requirements on the left, and this is the provider's ability to meet your requirements. So it quickly just shortlists the vendors for you based on your requirements. And this is just a really quick one that we have. But then from here, we've got a whole bunch of research, 27 different evaluation criteria. What contact center solution do they have? What do they do in terms of compliance? What's their Microsoft Teams integration look like? What's their platform? What compatible handsets do they have? 27 evaluation criteria listed for you to save you a ton of time. So drop a comment in to the video. I will and set up a call, and I will run you through your requirements into this tool, produce this report for you, and send it to you while we're on the call. And there's no charge for us to do that. We want to make sure that you have everything you need to make an informed decision in the market. And again, at a minimum, this is going to save you a ton of time. It does not mean you have to work with us going forward. We, of course, will outline for you different areas that we think we can help you. But in the end, it's ultimately your decision on how you go to market with evaluating these unified communication vendors. So thanks for watching today. Drop a comment if you'd like to set up a one-on-one with myself or someone from my team, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.